Hey everyone, Cody from Mactelecom Networks. In this video, we're going to be taking a look at one of the most unique cameras that Ubiquiti has ever come out with, and one that I've been waiting for quite a while. It offers us a 180 panoramic view, and that camera is the G6 180. In this video, we're going to take a closer look at the camera, and then I'm going to get it installed on my house and then see some of the settings. So let's get started. And this is the G6 180, and it does have quite a bit of weight to it. I was surprised. It's 1.8 pounds. Which is a little bit heavier than their other cameras. On the front of the camera, we could see that we have two different lenses, and these are both 4K. This does operate at 20 frames per second. Like the name implies, it does have a 180-degree viewing angle, which is going to be very nice for my street. In the middle, we have our LED indicator, and then we have our spotlight. So the spotlight we're going to test out to see that color night vision. At the very top, we have our speaker, and then we have two little holes, which will be for our microphone. This camera will also give us 65 feet of IR night vision, and it comes in at $299 USD, which is a pretty decent price. Now we've seen a look at the front, we need to take off this piece of plastic, which is the protective filming, before I get it installed, and then we'll take a look at the back of the camera. There is another piece right here that we got to take off. And this is the back of the camera, and one thing that I really like that Ubiquiti is currently doing for some of their doorbells and other cameras is that they're recessing the Ethernet cable or the Ethernet port into the camera so that we don't need to make a huge hole if it was bulking out. So I hope they continue to do that. We have a couple of these wedges that we could pop out if we're bringing the cable down, and then we could do our cable management around. And the Ethernet connection does come out, so you could just move it up, plug it in, and then you could do your cable management. The G6 180 is an indoor and outdoor camera, and it's weatherproofed with IP66 rating, and it's also tamper resistant with IK04 rating. You may be wondering, doesn't most of their G6 cameras have a backup SD card? Well, it does, but what we need to do, we need to open up this flap here with the included screwdriver, so I'm going to do that right now. With the bottom cover open, we could see two different things. We could put an SD card in, which I'm not going to do right now. I don't actually have one, but we also have a USB-C. So what would the USB-C be for? Well, they are going to be doing an enhancer for the G6 180, which will be coming in next year. For the G6 180, you could see all of the included mounting options. We have the ceiling, we have pole, we have a wedge mount, and then we have a pan adapter. They will also have a couple optional mounts, which is the pendant mount, and then we also have the flush mount. So the flush mount would be really nice for maybe an elevator area or within a hallway. I've gotten the G6 180 installed on the front of my house, and it was very easy to do with just two screws. Now what we need to do, we need to get this adopted and then do some updates if they have any updates. So we'll click to adopt and then we'll wait to see. The G6 180 is adopted in my UniFi Protect application, and you could just see how wide or panoramic this view is. We could literally see all the way down my street, and then we could see up the other street on the right hand side. This is a very nice picture. Like I said at the beginning, this is a 20 frame per second camera, but we have those dual lenses on the side. Where this camera currently is sitting is where I had my PTZ camera, or the G6 PTZ, and I'll show you right here what that looked like for the angle. The G6 180, you're going to get a lot more coverage. Let's now take a look at some of the settings for the G6 180. Under the overview, we have the status, the connection, the model, the device version. We also have the latest motion, MAC address, IP address, and we have FPS, bitrate, and then we have uptime. On the very bottom, we have all our different alarms, and you could go to create alarm or you could manage those alarms. Under our recording settings, this is where we're going to set when we want it to record. I always have mine on 24/7 and it's continuous. We also have create AI events. So with the G6 180, we have animal, face, license plate, person, and vehicle detections. So that's going to be really cool. We'll test out the face, and then I'll see if I could grab some license plate readings. It's a little difficult for me from where it is sitting right now, unless I'm driving into my driveway. We also have a bunch of different audio detection. So we have baby crying, barking, car alarm, car horn, CO alarm. We have glass breakage, siren, smoke alarm, and then we have speaking. Then we have our edit audio detection. So you could do that below. We could create motion events, and then we have tamper detection. So tamper detection detects if the camera is physically moved or obstructed, logging as a timeline event, and can be trigger alarms or automation. Recommended for security critical installations. We also have a recording quality where we could do frames per second, video compression, our encoding, and then what resolution we want to have it on. And then if you don't want to have the logo for the overlay information, you could turn that off. If you want to have the time on there, you could click there. We could also put the position of the overlay information. Under zones and lines, we have our motion zone, smart detection zone, crossing lines, and then privacy blackout. I'm going to leave mine on default, which covers everything. And then under settings, we could name the camera. We have our microphone sensitivity. We could disable it if we need to, because in certain states, you're not allowed to record audio. Then we have our HDR, and we have this one new setting, which is called Lens Fusion Offset. Reduces distortion where the two lenses join. Drag until objects cross the seam look natural. So we'll test that out when we look at the image. We also have our night vision, our camera, and then we have our advanced settings. I'm not going to do anything to this. We're going to leave it at default. The only thing that we may have to do is the Lens Fusion Offset. Here is the image of the 180 camera. This is just by default, and there is a little bit of overlap, so we need to do that fusion offset. If we scroll in and we look at this house in front of it, you can tell right here is where the two cameras seam. The garage door is pushing a little to the right-hand side, and this is also off. So let's go back to the settings. For the fusion offset, I'm just going to focus on the garage door, and I'm going to try to get it as close as possible. So we either have near or we have far. I'm going to have to go more to the right-hand side, so we'll just jump up little by little. And you can tell as the further I go, the garage starts to become normal. So we'll go a little bit further and see if that looks natural. All right, and that is pretty close to what natural should look like. If I scroll back, and then we look at the roof, it is still off a little bit, but if I keep going further, it's not going to join perfectly straight. But when I walk in front of it, we're going to see what happens to it. Let's take a look at where that stitch line would be. You're going to see me walking across where the stitch line is. I have slowed the speed of the video playback as well. So let's press play. I'm going to zoom in a little bit so that you can see what happens. And we're just about at that stitch line, and you're going to see it change from one camera to the other one. So here we go. And you'll see it look a little bit different once I cross that. It does a bit of ghosting. It's not that bad, but if that's something that you don't like, you're going to have to try to tweak that fusion a little bit more for that stitch. For faces, it seems to be doing pretty well. I've been on my driveway 3 times today, and it's picked it up each time. No one else has been on the driveway, so we haven't been able to capture that right yet. And the last thing that we're going to look at in this video is our nighttime footage. So we're going to check out the IR night vision. We're also going to check out the color night vision and see how it performs. So we need to wait till it gets a bit darker. We're now going to take a look at the night vision as well as the color night vision. You can tell here it's only 6 o'clock at night, but this is the darkest my street will get in my area. We do have quite a few light poles that you could see. But on the left-hand side, you're going to see me walking out of my house. We do see a car passing by as well, and then stopping at the stop sign. Yes, I am wearing shorts in the winter. It's perfectly fine. But we could tell that I'm walking down towards the road. I almost did slip there. Luckily, I didn't. If I did, we would have caught it on camera. Either way, I'm walking back up towards the camera, and we could actually just zoom into my face, and I'm waving my hand, and we're going to walk up even closer to the camera. Where the camera is angled, I don't get right directly down to my driveway, so I'm going to cut out here. We're going to look at the color night vision now. It did take a second to kick in. I did have to enable it within the UniFi Protect application, but this does look pretty good. I'm going to zoom into myself, and I will walk in down below the driveway, and you could see me, and you could see the colors in my coat. You'd also see the colors within the Christmas lights on the houses behind me. So all in all, this is a pretty good nighttime experience. And that's going to be it for this first look of the G6 180 camera. And I do like this camera at the price point of $299 USD. It gives us that extra wide angle of 180 degrees. And like I said earlier, it's going to be great for hallways or maybe an elevator area. This does work perfectly well on the front of my house as well. I had the PTZ camera there, but I think I'm going to move it to the other side, and I'm going to leave the G6 180 up. Now, you could get the G6 180 in either black and white, and it does have that indoor-outdoor rating, and it comes with a bunch of different mounts, or you could purchase optional mounts. I will do a follow-up on this camera in a couple months to see how well it did perform and how it lasted through the winter. If you have any questions about the G6 180, leave it in the comments below. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up button. If you're new here, please subscribe and hit the bell icon. All right, thanks.